Tanzania has taken a bold step. As a son of the late President Idi Amin, who fought Tanzania, some people might find it shocking that I am speaking proudly of that country. But for us, the past is the past. And in fact, we look at Tanzanians as brothers who are actually misinformed by the international media and by my father's local enemies into fighting us. The proof is in how Tanzania withdrew from Uganda in anger back in 1984 after finding out the true colors of those criminals and mass murderers who committed Uganda's only recorded genocide once they were in power, with the countless human skulls of their victims as evidence that they decorated the roadsides of the country with in a heinous, well-documented reign of terror. But for the Tanzanians, they are not our enemies whatsoever. Again, the past is the past, and my father had friendly discussions with some of their former soldiers who fought the war and whom we met accidentally in Saudi Arabia as they came to perform the Hajj in Mecca, and they themselves declared that they wish their leader had known the truth about my father, President Idi Amin. Anyway, let's get back to the issue of the day. Remember in 2022 when Western allies slapped their most devastating sanctions against Russia, President Vladimir Putin enacted unique monetary policy innovations that saved his country from economic collapse. He basically passed a law ordering that anyone purchasing Russia's minerals resources would have to pay in the Russian currency. And Russia has since seen an incredible 4% GDP growth in 2024, a growth greater than any Western country. Tanzania is embracing the same monetary policy to fight poverty and build its own economic resilience. Putin's economic security model has basically reached Africa. As a continent, we Africans should have each adopted this Russian policy 2 years ago. The policy stops any pricing or sales of goods and services in any foreign currency, while maintaining the activities of forex bureaus as usual, so that foreign persons or foreign entities who need the local currency can easily obtain it from the usual licensed outlets. The purpose of this policy is simple. It boldly protects the currency from devaluation and protects the local economy from galloping inflation and collapse, while ensuring even greater inflows of foreign currency from local exports and local goods and services, including from tourism, from industries, and from mineral resources. Tanzania has copied this Russian policy, which single-handedly protected the Russian economy from collapse, despite 25,000 Western economic sanctions in 2022 that were intent on killing the Russian people and the economy and throwing any survivors back to Stone Age economics. For the last 3 years, I have been advocating for this new monetary policy innovation to be adopted in Africa. It is literally a special economic operation, a policy advisory that you cannot get from old Western economies, because it is just 3 years that we have all been able to see its implementation from scratch in the news, and its great results on the Russian economy, which has grown an incredible 4% last year despite the unbelievable challenge it faced. I wonder why the IMF and the World Bank, Africa's leading development partners, are not issuing new advisories in this direction to help poor African nations develop and make their economies more resilient, just like we have seen with our own eyes happen to the Russian economy. In any case, it is great to see realization starting to gain ground across Africa. I particularly have been urging Zimbabwe, South Sudan, and DR Congo to take immediate legislative action in this exact direction, as this is the only policy solution to their currency devaluation woes and the galloping hyperinflation it has been causing to their fledgling economies. Their mistake was to not be alert when the dollar was informally becoming the legal tender in their local economies, not knowing that this is what's killing their local currencies and its value, because everyone automatically prefers to have dollars than the local money. In constantly eradicating the value of their local currencies, the dollar created the hyperinflation that has been destroying their economies and increasing poverty in those countries for decades. I thus again urge African governments, especially the three notorious countries I have just mentioned, to get their best economists to read, understand, and explain every single paragraph of this new Tanzanian legislation, its purpose, and its economic stability and growth benefits very clearly. And then they can pass an identical legislation in their respective parliaments as soon as possible as a top national economic security priority to safeguard the current and future economic prosperity of their countries, and as part of their policy efforts to fight poverty. They can also contact the Russian government, of course, and discuss the implementation of the policy and any unforeseen challenges Russia might have encountered in its implementation, all as part of development cooperation, for example. Anyway, my congratulations to the people of Tanzania, their parliament, their government, and President Samia Suluhu for taking this simple but monumental economic policy step. Though relaxed with the opposition, whoever in your security advisory circles is pushing you towards violent confrontation amongst yourselves as a country is the one who is the actual enemy of Tanzania. The same foreign manipulators are doing the same manipulation here in Uganda with some corrupt officials of our own here. It's all for these foreign agents' own global geopolitical schemes to control the region and even to control the entire continent by controlling the leadership of a mineral-rich country like Tanzania. The late President Magufuli actually knew this very well. Thank you.